People can stop if I enter a graduate program. You can stop after first year. You can withdraw after second year, withdraw after third year, or complete the program. You can withdraw and come back at later stages. You take up some job and then come back. All types of freedom and flexibility are there. So that way we become not a vibrant society from a stagnant knowledge society. So the fundamental principle that will guide both the education system at large as well as the individual institution within it are, so we have a system and we've got individual institutions. So we have to recognize, identify, and foster the unique capabilities of each student. We don't, take a group of students, but we understand the knowledge, recognize and identify the capabilities each which is unique to each student by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development in both academic and non-academic spheres. So we talk about academic and non-academic spheres. We have a lot of talent which are there in the students and which we try to inculcate in them. Then accord highest priority to achieving fundamental literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. So the new system, people should be able to have basic literacy and then basic capability of numerical numeracy by the time they reach 3. The flexibility is another fundamental principle. So the learners have the ability to choose their learning trajectories, at what pace they would like to learn and what is the program they'd like to learn, and thereby choose their own paths in life according to their talents and interests. So why should we crush everything in say 2 years to 3 years? If student takes a little more time, doesn't matter. So let a student choose the paths according to their own talents and interests. No hard separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams, etc., in order to eliminate harmful hierarchies among silos between different arts areas of learning. For example, everyone thinks that engineering and medicine are the best, everyone should go there, and people who don't get engineering and medicine go to sciences, who don't get anything go to arts. All these are wrong. So there is no hard separation. Every subject is important. In fact, I can give an example of one of my classmates who did his BTech in mechanical engineering, did MA in sociology, PhD in economics, and is a professor of economics in Delhi School of Economics. I mean, there are many things are possible like that, that there's no hard separation where anybody should be able to do anything. So no hard separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams, so that the harmful hierarchy, they say this particular specialization is good, this particular field is good, that hierarchies are removed, so that there is a lot of flexibility in learning and people really enjoy the way they learn. Then multidisciplinary and holistic education across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports for a multidisciplinary world in order to ensure the unity and integrity of all knowledge. That means our education should be holistic, should have some content in science, some in social science, a little bit of arts and humanities, probably can take a course in music and then a course in sports, so that you have a holistic education across the streams. Then the emphasis now is on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. So all these years we have been teaching only for exams. Indian students are extremely good in writing exams, but then after the exam they forget whatever they've learned. Just after 2 months after the exam, you ask them what subject, they say no, they're not ready to answer anything. In fact, the concept of coaching centers, all these are exam oriented, and I think we should come out of that exam oriented learning for exam sort of thing and start your education on conceptual understanding. That must be the emphasis, so that we create better citizens for the future. The next one, a very important thing, is creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. Today, this is very important. Everyone has its own level of creativity. They can think differently, critically. So we should try to inculcate this particular character for the students, encourage their creativity, encourage their critical thinking, so that they take good decisions and they are also involved in innovation. Then ethics and professional ethics also very important. Human values, constitutional values like empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, courtesy, democratic spirit of service, respect for public property, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism, equality and justice. All these are very important. They must be inculcated as students at various levels, In fact, of late, the professional colleges have started what you call an induction training program, where many of these type of values are taught to them, where human values are taught. They're taught some arts and other talents. So before they actually enter into the regular academic system, they are taught these type of ethics and human values, and then they are put into the system so that they become better citizens. We have been very, very successful in conducting this induction program and human value system education. Then another important thing is promoting multilingual and power of language in teaching and learning. India is a country with maybe there are at least 825 or 900 dialects, and not every language has its own script. But then the power of language is very important. In fact, a few days back, I was listening to Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys, was addressing our students on their convocation, and he said the power of language, how effective a language is needed. Now, the beauty of India is the advantage that India has over other countries, that we learn every subject in English. So our Indians are reasonably good in English compared to, let's say, Chinese. Indians are preferred in many other countries for job because of we learn everything in English. So, and we are able to learn, at least when somebody speaks, let's say when somebody speaks English and doesn't speak proper English, it indicates that he knows one more language. That's very important. So the power of language in India is very, very important, and the teachers. This is emphasized in the NEP 2020, teaching as well as learning. Then life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience, these are promoted. The new education policy, new national education policy, regular formative assessment for learning rather than summative assessment. That is, you don't assess the students only at the end of the term, but you assess them at regular intervals. So the summative assessment means the assessment at the end of the semester, end of the year. It promotes coaching culture, and coaching culture is something which is not encouraged by the new National Education Policy 2020. Then the new thing that has come is extensive use of technology, especially the past 8-9 years. 8-9 months after the COVID that has come, in extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students who have physical disability, and educational planning and management. So a lot of digital things have come into picture, technologies come into picture. Then respect for diversity and respect for local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy, always keeping in mind that education is a concurrent subject. Education in India is a concurrent subject. It is controlled both by Government of India, it's a Government of India list as well as the state list. So we should respect the diversity within India. India is a country with it has got a unity in diversity. So we can formulate our problem with our curriculum with the local context, and then keeping in mind that education is a concurrent subject. So that's a very important that we have. Then we have to create a situation where there's a full equity and inclusion, so that ensure that all students are able to thrive in the educational system. That students should not feel they're uncomfortable and then they try to discontinue. So we create a system. The education decisions are to ensure that all students are able to thrive in the educational system. So that is another important thing. Hello, I'm in a meeting. Okay, then the synergy in curriculum across all levels of education, from early childhood and education, school education to higher education. That is, there's a synergy, how the education system moves forward from the early childhood to higher education. That also is very, very important. So students can actually go without any problem to higher education once we have a synergy in the curriculum across all education levels. Then teachers and faculty as a heart of learning process. This is a very important statement in the National Education Policy, that teachers and faculty are the heart of the learning process. So their recruitment, continuous professional development, positive work environment, service conditions have been given utmost importance in the National Education Policy 2020. Then the framework that we have is a light but tight. That the framework is not very watertight, but then it is light. But then it's all same time light, regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency and resource efficiency of the education system through audit and public disclosure, while encouraging innovation and out-of-the-box ideas through autonomy, good governance, and empowerment. So the institutions which are going to give education, good education system, should have enough autonomy. They should give an autonomy and then good governance, and then they must be empowered to give to encourage innovation and out-of-the-box ideas. So this is also very important. The regulatory framework should be like that, should not come in the way of a teacher and the student going up in the educational system. Now, research is a very important thing in education systems. So if you want to have good education and development, you must have outstanding research. So outside research is a core requisite for outstanding education and development. So this is a very important thing that as teachers, we should, teaching, learning should go along with research. That's a very important thing. And so it's written as core requisite. Outstanding research must be a core requisite for this. Then continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational experts. So that the teachers are going to be continuously assessed by educational experts. So the progress of this, it is not that we just join and then go up. So things are going to be slightly different now. Then these teachers are to be sensitized to recognize, identify, and fostering the unique capability of each student. Not only teachers, the parents also are to be sensitized so that each student's holistic development in both academic and non-academic spheres are taking place. So then this, interestingly, the NEP, National Education Policy 2020, of course, highest priority achieving foundational literacy, numeracy, for all the students by grade 3. So by the time the students are level grade 3, they must have reasonably good foundational literacy and numeracy. So now we look at the world, how it's undergoing. Just come back to the world is undergoing rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. The way we were learning 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back, and today, there's a lot of difference. So with various dramatic scientific and technology advances, the technology is advancing so fast. So we have things like big data analysis, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Many unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken over by machines. So this is something which we have to be careful. Where unskilled jobs worldwide will be taken over by machines. So there is a fear that there will be unemployment, but then this new national education policy also makes people to become skilled. The skill is already imparted. So need for a skilled workforce, particularly involving mathematics, computer science, and data science in conjunction with multidisciplinary abilities across the sciences, social science, humanities will be increasingly in greater demand. So who are the students who are going to be in great demand? The students who are having a skilled workforce and have this workforce is not just just skill, but it involves mathematics, a little bit of computer science and data science. Then across the branch, across the curriculum in sciences, social science, and humanities, they are the people who will be in great demand as envisaged in the NEP 2020. So by 2030, many of this will be in place. Now we also think about the new thing that's happening, the climate change, increasing pollution. And if you look at today's newspaper, Delhi is in a very worst condition as far as the Delhi air status. It's reached critical level, and along with COVID, things are getting bad. So climate change is something which is accepted, and climate change in India is very, very visible. The rainy season has shifted from mid-May to mid-June to mid-July. The starting place has shifted. The ending time has changed, and this year we had unseasonal rains in October, November, all over. So these are all things which are taking place because of climate change. There's one area in which a lot of studies will be done. So with climate change, increasing pollution, depleting natural resources are depleting. There'll be sizable shift in how we meet the world's energy. So that's a new topic: energy problem, the water problem, the food problem, and sanitation needs. Again, resulting in the need for new skilled labor, particularly biology, chemistry, physics, agriculture, climate science, and social science. So these are the areas in which a lot of work people will be needed. And if you look at the energy sector, water and food, and sanitation need, these are the areas in which I've been working for the past many, many years. Just to give you a simple idea of the importance of water, to grow 1 kg of rice, from the time you sow the seed or transplant till it harvests, it requires approximately 3,000 liters of water. Can you imagine, to grow 1 kg of rice, the water that is required is 3,000 kgs of 3,000 liters of water. So when you have a good vegetarian lunch in the afternoon, let's say 200 grams of rice, some dal, some vegetables, if you calculate the amount of water required to each one of these, you'll find that whenever you have a good lunch in the afternoon, you're actually eating 4,500 liters of water. And after you eat, you drink 1 glass of water to push the 4,500 liters of water inside. So this is called virtual water. So whenever we grow 1 kg of rice, we consume, we use about 2,000, 3,000 liters of water. So now we start thinking, in a place where there's no water, should I grow rice? I don't. See, if I were to send 1 liter of water to grow 3,000 liters of water to grow 1 kg of rice, that's actually 1 truckload of water. I'll send into 1 truckload of food and then grow rice in a place where there's plenty of water. So these are all the things. The energy, solar energy is now coming into picture. I mean, but initial investment is high. Now technology is changing to make it cheaper. Then sanitation needs. So all these are very, very important. And so if you are good in these type of things, you must have people who are specialized in biology, chemistry, physics, agriculture, climate science, and social sciences, because it's also very, very important. Then you find the epidemics and pandemics are also growing. So we need collaborative research in infectious disease management and development of vaccines, and resulting social issues heighten the need for multidisciplinary learning. So today we are multidisciplinary learning. I'm very happy to inform you that NIT Warangal, we are fully involved in some of these type of studies, and a couple of our projects, our faculty members have got huge projects with the help of the World Bank and the United Nations, working on the pandemic situation here. Then you also find there will be growing demand for humanities and art as India moves towards become a developed country, as well as among the 3 largest economies of the world. So there's a lot of demand going to be there in humanities and art in a country like India. So I just repeat here, focus is not only learn, but more importantly, learn how to learn. So education must therefore move towards less content and more towards learning on how to think critically and solve problems, how to be creative and multidisciplinary, and how to innovate, adapt and absorb new material in novel and changing fields. So this is very, very important. So we have to think critically, and we have to solve problems, we have to be creative, we have to multidisciplinary, we have to innovate, we have to adapt, we have to absorb new materials in the new and changing fields. So this is how the education is now focused, that less content and more towards learning. So a vision of the new education policies: an education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all, the first one. The second one is develop a deep sense of respect towards fundamental rights, duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and conscious awareness of one's role and responsibilities in a changing world. The third one is instill skills, values and disposition that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. So these are basically enshrined in our National Education Policy 2020. So you find here the key principles are respect for diversity in local context. So I mentioned about this. Equity and inclusion, that's the cornerstone for all education decisions. Community participation is very important. Encouragement and felicitation for philanthropic, private and community participation. Use of technology in learning and in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, etc. Emphasize conceptual understanding rather than rote learning. Unique capabilities, recognizing, identify them in each student. Critical and creativity and continuous review based on sustained research, regular assessment by educational experts. So these are something, the basic key principles that we have. Then you also have ensuring universal access to education at all levels. You've got multiple pathways to learning, even both formal and non-formal educational modes. You have built schools promoting both government, non-government, philanthropic organizations, build schools. Learning outcomes, focus will be on achieving desired learning outcomes at all levels. Then bring back dropouts, people drop out from school, bring them back to the dropout. Alternate centers, alternate and innovative education centers must be there. Then peer tutoring, suitable for all categories, business and personal thing. So that ensures the success and opportunity all the students that we have. So this is something which has been enshrined in our new education policy. So reduction curriculum is there. So core essential must be taught. Curriculum in all subjects to be reduced to its core essentials. Critical thinking is very important. Focus on critical thinking, the inquiry, discovery, discussion, analysis based teaching and learning method for holistic education. So it's more important to develop this critical thinking. And then the class must be interactive teaching with reduced dependency on textbook learning. Questions from students will be promoted. So you have to have class must be very, very interactive. Then you have experiential learning, learn with experience, fun, which gives a lot of fun, creative, collaborative and explorative activities in classroom for experiential learning, and deeper student learning. So all these are important to promote skill-based and minimize rote-based learning. So this is the reduction in curriculum which is now shown. So we need to teach core essential, develop critical thinking, have interactive classes, and encourage experiential learning. So for which teachers have to put lot of efforts, and our thinking paradigm shift must be there from the regular classroom, regular teaching to the new type of teaching that we are going to see. So we find in the early childhood education, what that we do? We develop curiosity, logical thinking and problem solving, and they have interest in arts, crafts, and music. Relationship with nature, this is also very important, that we have to relate ourselves with the nature. Then talks about color, shape, alphabet, numerical to children ages, teamwork and collaboration, play-based, discovery-based learning, ethics, self-identity, etiquette, behavior, and emotional development. All these are the things which are envisaged in the national education policy as a childhood education in the formative years. So the focus is on competency-based education, integration of subjects through arts, sports integrated. So link your subject with other things, storytelling-based pedagogy, among others, as standard pedagogy. Development of scientific temper, which is very, very important now. So practice of human constitutional values such as patriotism, sacrifice, non-violent truth, this is also very important. There are no silos. There must be no watertight compartment, no separation between curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular, no different separation between academic, vocational, science, humanities, sports, arts, academics. So all should be blended. Then digital literacy is something which is now on the rise. So it's very, very important. Emphasis on digital literacy, coding and computational thinking, ethical and moral reasoning. Many children are quite good in this. They pick up on themselves only to motivate them. Then promotion in multilingual teaching, promoting states to enter into bilateral agreements with nearby states to hire language teachers. So every one of us should know, in fact, I feel very proud to say that I read, write, and speak all South Indian languages in addition to Hindi and English. So the great advantage we have when you are an institute like NIT or other. So innovative pedagogy, transforming teaching learning process. So focus experiential learning, focus on experiential inquiry and discovery-based teaching learning methods, integrated pedagogy, promotion of peer tutoring, equal weightage, no hard separation between curricular, co-curricular, as I mentioned earlier. And in school, they're also planning some bagless days. In school, you go to school without any bags, then use an integration of technology. It's also very, very important. So these are something which I mentioned. Computational thinking, increased emphasis on mathematical computational thinking throughout the school years, which will help them in their higher education. Then activities involving coding will be introduced at the middle stage. Inculcate mathematical thinking and problem solving through a variety of innovative methods, including the regular use of puzzles and games. Then include contemporary subjects in schools like artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, environmental education, global citizen education, etc. So these are to be incorporated so that India can play a leadership role in the future. So teacher education also is very important. New and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education, which is going to be ready by 2021. All teacher education to be conducted within composite multidisciplinary institutions. So all the institutions, major institutions, are going to convert into multidisciplinary institutions. Like for example, NIT Warangal could teach many humanities, management, science, other subjects as well. So that's we may offer even courses in BA and MA. So you find so we'll have a multiple institutions and NTA testing for admission. This is a National Testing Agency admission for B.Ed. Stringent action against substandard standalone teacher education institutions. This is a mushrooming institution today. A lot of teacher education institutions they call them, and with hardly any quality. And so that is going to be curtailed. We're not going to have this. Then we're going to have a National Higher Education Regulatory Council to function as a single point regulator for higher education sector, including teacher education. Then you have only educationally sound multidisciplinary integrated teacher education programs to be made available. That means a teacher should be must be educationally sound, multidisciplinary, and integrated teacher education. That's how it should be. Then merit-based scholarship for a 4-year B.Ed program. So this is also going to be introduced shortly. The setting up a national mission for mentoring with a large pool of outstanding senior retired faculty. Many faculty are retiring. They'll be used as a national mission for mentoring. So that is a new, so teachers who are still healthy and active, they can be used here. Then we have the teacher eligibility test at all levels, all stages will be strengthened. So this is something part of the improving teacher education. So teachers also are very important in this. So there's a time when people come to teaching when they don't get any other job. Teachers must come to job because they love teaching. Teachers must be passionate. Then only teaching learning can improve. Then we have to empower teachers. That's very important. So we have a alternate technology-based comprehensive teacher requirement planning for forecasting exercise to kind of each state. So each state of the country should identify how many teachers are required, what type of teachers are required, and then we have to accordingly plan your teacher education. That what I mentioned earlier. So we need a technology-based comprehensive teacher requirement planning forecasting exercise. Then teachers must be able to grow, career growth from various levels. From within a single school, they must be available. So there shall be frustration. I always believe when you select a teacher, we assume that teacher is good and we select them. So then we should see that the system makes a teacher continuously improve and get promotions, etc., so that teacher is not frustrated.
Finding 1 or 2 books wherein you will be having.
Yes, please. Some questions? Hello? Yeah. So teachers must have a career growth. So when I select a teacher, I select because he or she is good. Then as the time passes, the teacher should grow in their stature. They should be able to grow, and then they should get promoted in the right time, so there is no frustration. A frustrated teacher is very dangerous to the society. Then we are planning to have a national process standards for teachers by 2022, improving service environment through better infrastructure schools. If the infrastructure school is very good, teacher also is very good. Then teachers to have autonomy in choosing aspects of pedagogy in the classroom teaching. Academic leadership position made available for teachers. Teacher professional development, merit-based tenure track system, minimum 50 hours of continuous professional development. So all these are being thought about to empower teachers so that they really go up in their ladder. Then we also should think about the adult education, lifelong learning. This is also part of the national education policy. We have to have innovative initiatives for adults with the help of community participation and technology integration with higher education institutions. We have an adult education centers, integrate the higher education institutions. So institutions like NIT Warangal, we should be able to help in the adult education process as well. Then technology-based options, technology-based high-quality option for adult learning, such as lots of apps, online courses, modules, satellite-based TV channels, which are already there. Many such channels are there. Then there are many online books available. So they must be so the adult education centers to be developed through government and through philanthropical initiatives. So when you want to develop adult education curriculum, so those who have school, it's fine, but then at the adult education, you do 5 types of program: foundational literacy and numeracy, critical life skills, vocational skill development, basic education, continuing education. So these are the framework in which types of program that the adult education can go ahead. So yeah, Now, there's another thing, important thing here is the commitment towards research and development in science and technology. So they are planning to have a national research foundation to fund outstanding peer-reviewed research and to actively seed research in universities and colleges. So this is a very important thing that is taking place in the national education policy to have a national research fund which will fund outstanding peer-reviewed research so that the teachers in the universities and colleges are able to grow as well. So the National Research Fund, and then there's another one thing is called National Education Technology Forum. They play an important role to carry out problem-solving research and development of digital repository resources. So this is something which, national education policy is going to take up. Then greater education for academic institutions. The academic institution will have a lot of autonomy for nurturing creativity and innovation among the learners using pedagogy, providing the flexibility for students to follow their passion. Whatever student wants to learn, they should be able to learn. And much needed solution for the societal problems around. That means the students must identify what are the problems the society is facing and try to find solution for the societal problem. So these are the key components that define the way forward for NEP 2020. So there is something called as academic bank of credit, so which makes the ubiquitous education a reality. Higher education need to identify the strategies for implementation, realize the vision of NEP 2020. That means you do some work, you get credited, you can accumulate credits, and then you can pursue higher education using the credits that you have accumulated. So you see, look at the present education is focusing more on marks and grades with narrow specialization. This is a reality. We still worry about marks and grades with very narrow specialization. We have come out of such silos, such water compartment, and need to have multidisciplinary approach in providing solution to problems faced by the industry and society. So industry are not ready the academics people are not ready to solve problems of the industry, and industry are not ready to approach academics to solve the problem. So what is very strong here is the academia industry relation, which is not very strong, should, as of now, it must be strengthened. So NEP makes it compulsory for the industry to participate in framing of academic curricula. Like when you form a syllabus, we call the industry, take their advice and what is that we are doing, and to provide continuous guidance to academia. Industry provides guidance to academia about the practices and challenges which require solutions. So industry must continuously be in relation to academia so that they pose their problem to us, we try to solve them, and then we try to give many new solutions. So these are very, very important. That must be an academic industry relationship, which is presently not very strong. They must be strengthened. Now, if you look at the industry, most of the industrial problems are multidisciplinary in nature. The industry teams are to be developed in academia. So in the institute also, they should have a group of teams which are interdisciplinary. Somebody from civil engineering, somebody from chemistry, somebody from humanities, somebody from management. They work as a team so that we try to solve the industrial problems. Now, the things that are happening today are the areas of artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and virtual reality have come of age where the technology is matured, and we have to make full use of this. These are, come out very well, and we should make full of the technology which has already been developed. Then we look at the e-commerce. That is, you have used Amazon, Flickr, Flipkart, etc., etc. E-commerce, which had a growth of 25% during 2015-20. This one's 2015. Just one sec, please. Yeah, the e-commerce, which had a growth rate of 25% during 2015-2020, it had a growth rate of only 0.25% between 2010 and 2015. Today, it has a growth rate of 50% in the COVID period. If you look at the COVID period past March to now, the e-commerce has taken up a fantastic growth rate of 50%. So many of you are using this e-commerce platform, and so there's a digital transformation in every industry with the world migrating to digital area. So this is what is happening today. Then we talk about academic bank of credit, which I mentioned earlier. So new skills to be need to continuously be learned and upgraded. So, and then you can have credit for that. Then another thing is very important, need to learn the art of relaxing, which is not there now. Relaxing and relearning among the students of institutes of higher learning is very, very important. Need to learn the art of relaxing and relearning among the students of institutes of higher learning. Discourage rote learning and encourage creative thinking must be the focus of the educating new generation. Now, from the students, we've had unlimited expectation. There's an atmosphere of unlimited expectation with the limited resources now, and the education should focus on technology products which can be produced indigenously. So the expectations are very, very high from our country, from our youth. So we should make use of this unlimited expectation, and then make use of atmosphere unlimited expectation, and try to focus on developing products which can be produced indigenous. In fact, COVID has given us many, many opportunities to develop many indigenous products. Then our system is right now the economy, the infrastructure, technology-driven system, demography, and full nuclear power must be strengthened. That means our economy must be strengthened, infrastructure must be strengthened, technology-driven system must be strengthened, demography must strengthened, and full utilization of power, whatever power we have must be strengthened. Here, power actually means by solar power, non-unconventional power. Then institute like IIT and NITs are required transformed as we have to be transformed as multidisciplinary education and research universities. So there'll be institute like NITs, IITs, central universities should become multidisciplinary education institute, which is called acronym as MIRU. Even within the existing structure, a closer interaction between the faculty of various disciplines is required to strengthen. In fact, unfortunately, there's not much interaction between the faculty members of various disciplines. But so within the structure of the institute, there must be a closer interaction between faculty of various disciplines. This has to be strengthened. Then another thing important, which is important here, is providing flexible curriculum to enable lateral entry. Like somebody wants to come directly into second year, or multiple exit option. Students are not interested to continue further. So after first year, you should be able to exit. After second year, in fact, at NIT Warangal, we are actually planning, if somebody wants to, after first year, wants to take a break or exit, we'll give him a certificate on engineering sciences, a certificate of engineering sciences, which will help him to get some job. Because first year we teach basic sciences, and then he learns workshop, machine workshop, and some basic things, so he can start some work. So there should be multiple exit option. At the end of 2 years, he wants to go, we give some certificate. At 3 years, some diploma. So all these options are available. So we have to have a flexible curriculum so that people can, somebody is gone after first year, should be able to come after a couple of years to the second year. That also must be available. So this is very important, and we have to increase the national gross enrollment ratio. Right now it's about 26% to 50%. Each of the universities record double its existing intake. That means we are trying to increase the number of students who are coming to various programs. Right now it's about 26% of the university. Right, it is being doubled to 50% is what is being planned by 2030. So the overall focus of higher education sector will be to have an integrated higher education system, including professional and vocational education. So the main focus is to move towards multi-disciplinary undergraduate system. This is just a repeat of what I've done earlier. Focus on positive learning outcomes, including increased creativity and innovation, critical thinking and higher order thinking capacities, problem solving abilities, teamwork, communication skills, more in-depth learning, and mastery of curricula across fields, increase in social and moral awareness, etc. These are the focus which are being highlighted. Then we also think about imaginative and flexible curricular structures, which is now, a lot of discussion are taking place, and many teachers are not ready for the flexibility. So we have to have a creative combination of disciplines for study, and would offer multiple entry and exit options, which I mentioned earlier, removing currently prevalent rigid boundaries and creating new possibilities for lifelong learning. So today we have a lot of rigid boundaries. You can't exit, you can't enter whenever you want. So the undergraduate program will be of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit entry option within this period. So the 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor's program is preferred since they allow the opportunity to experience the full range of holistic and multidisciplinary education, in addition to a focus on the chosen major and minors as per the choice of the student. So all undergraduate program are going to be 4 years. This is what is preferred by the experts because in 4 years you learn a lot of things. In fact, I'll just like to mention what happens in a country like Germany, where people are ready to go to any education. For example, in India, everybody wants to do medicine or engineering because they say you get a job. But if you go to a country like Germany, any student who does a 4-year bachelor's program, he starts with almost same salary. So students can learn programs of their choice rather than the choice of their parents or peers. So that is something which is so choose a student. Make student choose the major minor. So that is very, very important, and this gives the 4-year curriculum gives enough scope for the student experience the full range of education in a holistic and multidisciplinary environment. So the 4-year program, if a student takes a little bit into the final year, 4-year student may also lead to a degree with a research. The student completes a rigorous research project in their major area of study specified by higher education institution. That is, if final year project is really very good, it can lead to some research. So again, we have to have an increased emphasis on communication, discussion, debate, research, opportunity for cross-disciplinary and interdisciplinary thinking. So this is very, very important. That higher education should include credit-based courses and projects in the areas of community engagement. That means your studies is not related to the institute itself, but you should go to the community. Some few credits in the areas of community engagement service, environmental education, and value-based education. So this is also being thought about there. So, and then students need to provide the opportunity for internship with the local industry, businesses, artists, crafters, etc., as well as research internship with faculty and researchers at their own or other institution, so that students may actively engage in the practical side of the learning and as a byproduct further improve their employability. So this is something which has been emphasized, that internship is important, with not necessarily with big industries, the local industry, local business people, maybe local arts and crafts persons, and then faculty of other institutes, researchers at their other institutes, so that they learn the practical side of their learning and as a byproduct further improve their employability. So ultimate aim is every student must be employable. Today we find 80% of engineers who graduate from many colleges are unemployable. So that's a very sad state of affairs. So we have to change that. Then evaluation of students should be continuous and comprehensive rather than just examination oriented. This is something which is now coming up, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the teachers. Teachers also should think differently, how to evaluate a student continuously and not just depending on the one exam at the end of the year. Okay. Yeah, here the student should have the freedom to choose the courses as per the interest. They should expose holistic view of learning and inducted ethics and values. Life skills are to be important. So this is another important thing that are coming here. And so institutes are to be transformed to face the societal problem. Every institute should face solve the problems faced with society. For example, I work at NIT Warangal. I ask many times, many forums, what is NIT Warangal doing to Warangal? What is our contribution to Warangal district, to Warangal town? What are the district administration of Warangal coming to NIT Warangal to get this problem solved? So this is something very, very important. Every institute or every college where it's located, they must try to solve the problem which are faced in their neighborhood, so that your institution becomes important, that your values become very, very important. Now, professional education is what we are in, must involve in education ethics and important public purpose, and education in need the discipline and educational practice. So when you prepare a person for a profession, so education must involve ethics, the importance of the public purpose of the profession, and education, the discipline, whatever you are choosing, and education practice. All these are very, very important. So it must involve critical thinking, interdisciplinary thinking, discussion, debate, research, innovation, For this to achieve, professional education should not take place in isolation of one specialty. So professional education should be a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary area. So this is very, very important that we have here. So professional education becomes an integral part of overall higher education system. Now we have many universities like standalone universities, like agriculture universities, law universities, health science universities, okay, technical universities, and standalone institutions. Other fields shall aim to become multidisciplinary institution offering holistic and multidisciplinary education. So this is something which is important, that standalone institution becomes multidisciplinary education institutions. All institutions offering either professional or general education will aim to organically evolve into institutional clusters offering both seamlessly and integrated manner by 2030. That means by 2030 we should be able to transform our institute to offer many professional courses without any border, without seamlessly. So to conclude, new education policy is path-breaking document to make the education purposeful and useful in solving the problems faced by its society. There's adequate scope for students to get trained in the courses of their choice and learn at their own pace with lots of flexibility. The Academic Credit Bank will help students to learn multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary courses. The best practice followed in universities in developed countries should be suitably adopted to suit our condition. So what are the new features of policy? First is preparation of school preparation from school and elementary school level. So education for all by 2030. Then school infrastructure resources must be developed. Holistic development of student, I mentioned earlier. No art separation, innovative pedagogy, holistic report card, vocational education. Then we have inclusivity, gender inclusion fund, this is schools and assessment with their curriculum and pedagogical framework. Then teacher recruitment, teacher education, I mentioned about you earlier, role of government departments, bodies, etc. So all these are, in fact, one other thing that is written here is it is desirable that Ministry of Human Development to be redesignated as Ministry of Education to bring focus on education. This has already been done. Okay, so it is Ministry of Human Development has already been redesignated as Ministry of Education. Probably the first activity under NEP 2020 is the renaming of the Ministry of Human Development as Ministry of Education. So I'll stop here. I thank you for listening, and I would be happy to have questions from you, please.
Participants, if you have any questions, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Forum is now open for questions. If you have any questions, you can either unmute your microphone or put your questions in the chat window. Sir, I see some questions in the chat window already.
Can we take that question from the chat?
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I will read some of the questions myself. Spurti.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the action taken through NEP for industry academia collaboration? How we can strengthen this? The industries have been asked to, the universities also been asked to contact industries, and industries have been asked to share their problems with the institutes. And some of the institutes like IIT and NIT have already started setting up industry academia collaboration, offices where the students are, where the problems can be posed to the institute, and we try to find solution for that. And then the students or the industry can also take students for internship during the second year break or third year break, or in fact even a semester break. They can go and work in the industry, learn the industry problem, come back and continue their education. So this is possible. There's a question asked by Rashmi Ranjan Mahapatra, and all developed countries focus on industry academic education. So this NEP focuses on that to have an holistic view. Okay, and then is the RS Kiran. Is the same valid for the teacher STEM? Yes, they're going to be same type of evaluation for students, for teachers of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, management, medical. So they're going to be same. They're going to evaluate it. Teaching is not going to be easy. You have to work. You have to show results. You have to produce good outputs, and then only you can go up in the ladder. Any other questions? You can unmute and ask me.
Sir, this is
Sir,
Rashmi
this is
Mahapatra.
Dr. Gupta.
Yes, Rashmi.
So, what are the research work is going on in your area, sir, regarding at present with industry?
See, I can give you an example of my own department. I'm in civil engineering. Okay, there's a huge project that has come up called Kaleshwaram project. It's the biggest project in Asia. Most of the problems are posed to us. They come to us whenever the difficulties, and we try to solve the problem. In fact, we regularly advise them. When they have a design, they come to us. We check the design. If there are any other problems, our students go there, stay for 2 months. In fact, we send our students for 8 weeks to the industry, stay there and identify problems and come back. Or their engineers can come and spend 10, 15 days here with us, and then solve the problems and go back. So many industries are doing it. In fact, there are a couple of industries which are having MOUs, memorandum of understanding with us, whereby our BTech, MTech, PhD students are taken there. They are guided. They can do a PhD here, a master's, part of the master's program it can be done there. So these type of things are happening. And you see, for which the teachers have to go out. Industry will not come on their own. So the teachers have to go out. We have to go to the industry on weekends. Once in a while, go to establish relationship. Show that you're good. If the moment industry realizes you're good, they will definitely come to you. So this is very important.
I have one more question. Any project work on evaporation loss of cooling tower? How to minimize to evaporation loss of cooling tower? Any work is going on such type of work in areas?
Some work is being done in the mechanical engineering department. Some work is being done because some of the thermal power stations, they approach us and we do some work for them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
The teachers have to go and expose themselves to industry. That's also very important.
One more question, can I share? Suppose
Yes,
in
yes,
RO, reverse osmosis process,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
RO reject water is not having high TDS. So
Yes.
I hope some technology, now the recent technology are most advanced. So any such RO reject water to reuse in any process or any research work on going on that area, any
In fact,
suggestion?
there are words on RO. In fact, they're now trying to develop what you call forward osmosis. A new membrane to be developed for forward osmosis. After RO, they pass through the FO, and then they try to do it. In fact, the work is going on across the world because the membrane technology is something which is picking up. A lot of work is going on. See, RO is sometimes not encouraged because the reject is very, very high. For treating 1 liter water, you get sometimes almost equal amount of water, more water is rejected. So there are a lot of work going on in that to reduce the reject water, and people are working on that. Industries are working, and institutes are being approached. So that is that's a positive side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your information.
Sir, good morning, sir. This is
Yeah.
Dr. P.V. Gupta, University of Pune.
Yes,
I have
please.
3 questions, sir.
Yes, please.
You are giving a very good and extraordinary lecture. In Telugu, one proverb, అరటిపండు ఒలిచి నోట్లో పెట్టినట్టు, it is a one banana and open that stick and you put into the mouth. You are giving very good lecture.
Thank you.
And I thank and congratulate you. And my first question relating to this policy is very good and excellent. But is it possible to implement in the throughout India?
Yes.
That is the first question.
If you, shall I answer this question? Then we can go to second question.
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, in the national education policy, they already put a time frame. What must be done in the first year? What must be done second year? So that in 10 years, at the end of 10 years, the whole thing must be implemented. So all education institutions have been asked to revise their curriculum, they revise their attitude, revise their focus to see that by 2030, all these things are in place. So that already a time frame has been developed, which is available on the new NEP document, which probably if you want, I can share with you the English version document. I can then send to Dr. Spurti and she can send it to all of you. I can do that. So there is a time frame. In fact, when it was first announced, there were a lot of noise from various quarters. I attended many webinars where people said, this looks very good on paper, but can it be implemented? Like, for example, in an engineering college, after first year, some student wants to leave. I don't want to continue. Somebody wants to leave after second year. I don't want to continue. I mean, there are people, who after who are joining some courses by force of the parents or the peers, and they don't want to continue. So there should be some mechanism of, allowing them to go. And then maybe after a couple of years, they work some industries, get some experience, then they realize, okay, I should go back and finish. So all this, exit policy at various levels and entry at various levels are also there. Now we are actually revising our curriculum. We already started working on that to implement this curriculum. In fact, not only this institute, but many institutes across the country are doing. In fact, if you look at the YouTube, we conducted a workshop on new education, national education policy on 3rd of September. It's available on the YouTube. You can just search the YouTube, and a lot of discussion have taken place where even the NBA chairman, the National Defense DRDO chairman, they all gave their views, ASCT chairman. So you can listen to that. It's available on YouTube. And if you're interested, I can share the YouTube link also with Dr. Spurti. She can share with you. Yeah, Vishwan Gupta ji. Next question.
Sir, you are giving a example good, but I think so it is little bit difficult. Suppose an engineering student drop out in the second year.
Yeah.
And he left that one. Suppose 50% of the students are dropout, or then what is the fate of the remaining 50%? And he didn't get any job, neither job nor complete his education.
See, this is all of us are thinking on the same line, just as you are thinking. See, suppose a student, after 2 years, he feels he cannot continue, or due to various reasons, he is not able to continue. Okay, I send the student, I give him a certificate or diploma and send him, probably he'll get some job. And after 1 or 2 years, if he come back, see, this is all the teething problem which we'll face when you're changing from one system to another system. 50% student dropping out, etc. is a highly exaggerated. The number of students dropping out may be 10 to 15%. Fine. But we have academic credit bank which says if you're done first year course, so much credit is put in your bank. And when you come back some other time, that credit that you've done already will be accounted for, so that you can continue your education. So that is all possible, but that's why they give a time frame of 10 years. Because this is 2020, a lot of teething problems. Many people are opposing. There are many people are saying it cannot be implemented, but then we have to start. We have to start implementing it. But I have been reading quite a lot on this, and then I feel that many things are possible. Many things are possible in this. In fact, there's even a proposal to complete the engineering in 7 semesters and 8 semesters, send them to industry, make them industry ready, then give them the degree. There's a scheme like that also. Or at the end of second year, have a compulsory 3 months internship in all industries, and then come back and then take up industry related problem, society related problems, and you get credit for that. You solve a problem close to society, you get credit for that. So there is a lot of things which are happening. In fact, there's one particular suggestion at the government level also to have a BTech in general engineering, who were first 2 years to teach them everything, and then choose electives, and we make him ready industry. So there are many things which are happening, and I think there is time, about 10 years time that is given for implementing it. But we have to start with the attitude, yes, it is possible. We don't start with the attitude that it is not possible, then it will not be possible. So you have to start with a positive attitude, and then we'll try to change the system.
And the second question relating to the local language, and there are n number of the tribal groups. They didn't have the script and language. And another one, suppose if I am in the Maharashtra, and my mother tongue is Telugu, and is it possible to giving the mother tongue language? Whether here, suppose in case of me, he is unable to learn Hindi, unable to learn Marathi, unable to learn Telugu. Then there should be an English common language, or the medium of the language also should be. They didn't give, but they mentioned only local language.
It's a local language. See, that's understanding is local language. You understand better. But then see, English is very much an Indian language. It's not a foreign language now anymore. We got our own Indian English. English in India is spoken probably much better than English spoken in many European countries. You go to Spain, you go to Portugal, you go to Denmark, you go to Germany, you go to France. They don't speak English as good as us, because in English, most students who study higher education in India, bachelor education, their English is much better grammatically than many of the European countries. I've been to many European countries. I find our English is much better than many European countries. So the idea of the thing is, you learn the basic concepts much better in your childhood when you learn in your local language or mother tongue, a language in which you are more comfortable. That's the idea. The idea is not to force anything, and you can always try to say that many languages don't have script, so you have to use some local. A student who comes to I'll give you one example. I have studied one paper where it said a student who is up to 11 years, he can learn as much as 10 languages spoken and listen continuously. If a young child listens to a language continuously for a few years and he or she picks up the language very fast. People like you and me, it's difficult. Children will pick up very fast any language. They pick up any language. You are at Maharashtra, your children must speak very good Marathi, not you. So that's how it is. Yes, please.
And third question relating to myself, I am from the Adult Education Department. In the chapter 21 in the National Education Policy, they mentioned in the 2030 literacy rate will be that one. For that, in case of the Indian situation, at present only 25 to 30 departments throughout in India, the Department of Adult Education.
Yes.
Previously, way back in the 70s, and it means after 1965, they started the Kothari Commission. At that time, after Kothari Commission, they started more than 300 departments throughout in India, adult education departments. After that, now it is the 2020, nearly 70% of the departments are wind up, and due to the empathy or apathy of the government officials and the department and maybe implementation strategy, at present it is 2020 and we need to be 2030. It means we have only 10 years of period. And how it be possible to that literacy rate and education to all? That is one part. Another part, they mentioned not only for the education department, they mentioned the social work department, and not only the women and child department. There are another sister departments they are merging. Is it possible?
See, there are certain policies which we don't discuss, but then see, as I told you, like institute, well-established institute should also participate in adult education program. Adult education program, not just a designated institute. Every institute should be able to conduct some program for adult education to make them literate, to make them understand what are basic things to do day-to-day life and impart certain skills. That is adult education, not distance learning education. You give them some distance learning course, correspondence course. No, you make the adults who could not have formal learning, make them ready for facing the realities of life. There are many people who are uneducated but who are very good in many arts and crafts or mechanics sort of thing, technical things. A very good electrician, he doesn't know, he is not studied at all, but he's an extremely good electrician. There are very good car mechanics and scooter mechanics, they are not educated. So for them, if you can give them formal education, tell them what is good. So it's not just that number of centers, but I think the existing institutes also must participate in the adult education part, right? So that's how it's going to be. And
thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Because the policy matter, I think let us not discuss about it. That's how the government takes care. Yeah. Yes, please.
Sir, I had a question. How are we going to inculcate learning to learn in children? Like, is there any policy or any rule made for it, or is there any provision made for it? You said that we have that point included, but then how are we going to implement it? Is there any?
The peer learning and in school levels, students. You see, I'll give a small example. In UK, up to 8 years, children are developed the habit of are sent to school and they enjoy the process of learning, not like we have. In our school here, early education, morning to evening, you go on reciting English rhymes and things like that. Right. See, first letter in English is a horizontal inclined line, two inclined line and a horizontal line. The easiest English is I. Why not I? I is the 5 we start with the first letter. We teach them A, then B. B is difficult than P.
Right.
Right. So if you go typical European education, they teach them the easiest letters first, They make them learn a lot of them, do on their own, and then they teach them the rhymes so they know ABCD in that order.
Right.
So the education system itself must change, and we should have enough confidence that children can learn, and then it's possible.
Actually, I have observed, and I have like I've stayed in US for some years, and there I studied how they teach, and this is the same reason why I came from software field to education field, just to change, just to try and change the change our education system. So I believe, yes, I agree that the way they teach us is very different. The way they taught my daughter was very different. On first in when she was in first standard, I would just like to give you an example. When she was in first standard, for a full 1 week they had some projects going on. I asked her, what kind of projects are you doing? She had practical book. I said, what kind of projects are you doing? She exclaimed, she explained to me how she did, like she kept some books, and on that they were asked to keep their slanting slate or some kind of some other book or something, and from that they had to roll the pencil and eraser and observe and what happens and all that stuff. And then every day they had some other activity, and on the last day, on the 7th day, she was taught law of motion, right in the first standard. When she was just in first standard. So that time I understood the way they were doing all those practicals every day for 7 days. Every time, even in the recess, they had some of the other activity going on with rolling or something. So just to explain the word motion, they were doing all these activities. So I really believe, I really agree the way they teach. Even her name, like first day itself, I was asked whether she can spell her name or whether she can read her name. I said she doesn't know even alphabets. So and then I was observing how they taught her, how to read, how they taught her. So you're absolutely right. Like they start from common words that that children speak. So likewise, they teach them how to read those common words, and accordingly they start reading the sentences, and they build confidence. And that's right. But then I'm talking about how we are going to implement it over here in India, because I really find it difficult.
I know, Dipali, in India, there's a mindset problem. In India, there's a lot of mindset problem. Like, any school which gives, which charges high fee and gives a lot of homework, which students make day and night work, that's a better school. That's a wrong notion which we have in our country. We are getting children to learn. They should enjoy the process of learning. When my kids were learning in school, I used to attend every parent-teachers meeting and give suggestions. And I told, up to 5th standard, don't know homework. You give homework one page a day for 5 days. Then slowly, as they grow older, then up to the preschools or LKG, UKG, have only half a day school. They are just go enjoy the process of learning, and at that time they need the mother and father more. Here we are just dumping the children from age 2 in school, and parents are just enjoying. So basically, the whole education paradigm shift is important. That we have to develop their creative thinking, they develop their own, hobby, their own interest, rather than forcing something which the teacher knows. Like my child, when she was using a knife and scissors when she was class, LKG, we were afraid to give a knife at her house. At school, they are giving the knives and make them cut. They tell them what the positive use of all these scissors and knives and blades. So it's how we train them is very important. And see, that's why in the new education policy, they're given 10 years time, because we need to change the mindset. Our parents' mindset should be changed. Parents should not think everybody should be preparing for, physics, chemistry, maths, and become engineers or doctors. Have so many courses which are very good. We want good engineers, we want good economists, we want good lawyers, we want good, lawmakers. We need all these people. Not everybody can be a good engineer or doctor. It'll be failure. It's better to be a good poet than be a bad engineer. It's a good electrician than be a good bad, things like that. So we have to change our mindset. And
so
we spend a lot of time with the children.
Are we change the syllabus altogether for primary children, or?
Yes, there is going to be a number of workshops to be held, and how this education system are going to be implemented.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, please. Yeah, the Higher Education Regulatory Authority is yet to be formed. There's a question from Dr. Ajay Sagar. the higher education regular is that to see right now we got UGC, AICT also. So they want to bring all of them under one category. So there is a lot of discussion taking place. It will take some time before this thing comes because people are using this, who have been enjoying these things. It will be difficult to convince them. So government wants to bring one authority which control the higher education completely across the country. It will take some time, but already the work is in progress. The things in progress. The existing students will be transferred new systems immediately? No. It will be only for the students going to join fresh. The existing students will continue with the old system, but then with enough flexibility.
Sir, I am Rashmi,
One
sir.
question Shobha Menon. System of policy for continuous education of migrant laborers. I think these are all some of the local institutes must take over to educate them. It's a continuous learning. And if migrant laborers are interested, there are many NGOs, philanthropists will be interested, and they have to be involved in that. Yes, please.
Sir, any suggestions for the NEP regarding the rural development, the rural peoples? Because most of the peoples in India are rural. Very few
It is
people.
not true. It is not true. 40% India is right now in urban areas. Even people don't want to be in rural, they come for urban because all our education centers, health centers, all hospitals, everything is in urban area. Nobody wants to go to rural. Everybody comes to urban. See, the migrant laborers, so many of them come into urban areas and suddenly they have a problem. So we have to, that's why I said we have to take up societal problem. The rural education is a societal problem. Take up that problem. The institution should take up this problem and try to find solution for that. So we have to vibe with the society. We have to just join with the society and then we will take up. That's very important. There's a McKinsey global report which says in the year 2030, 40% of India's population will be in urban areas. The rate at which we are urbanizing is so fast compared to even highly developed country. And we are not developed the infrastructure in urban areas to meet the urban population. And rural population is much less. So that's how it's changing. Yes, please.
It's depending on the state wise. I hope so. I am from Odisha because in Odisha.
I can look up my name. I had a student exactly with your name working with me. Did his MTech with me. Then joined KIT University. Is now in he's gone out that place. Yeah. So the institutions in Odisha, they should take over or take help of NGOs to educate the migrant laborers. The basic things: how to deal with banks, how to deal with the use of mobiles, and some basic things they can always be taught. And they have a lot of good skills. The migrant laborers have got very good skills. They must be taught many things. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Spurti, is there anything else?
One more regard bandwidth. Sir, we are also facing some bandwidth issues. Suppose some webinar is going in outside country. I am attending. That video is not coming. So maybe some 5G technology will come like that is saying.
It will come, but then we are also facing problem. In fact, I've been teaching for 35 years, and this year, I am now speaking to you on screen. If I really love to talk to you directly. There is a lot of difference between when I talk to directly and getting your feelings, seeing your eyes, seeing your expressions. Then I get more excited. I am talking to screen. So I also don't enjoy, teaching online, and just as you also don't enjoy listening online. And there are technology issues. I'm teaching. We are taking all the classes through this. Many students are not able to, attend classes because of the bandwidth issues, etc. And even now, we also have to change our bandwidths. So these issues, we are not yet ready for online teaching and online thing. We are not yet ready. Our country is not fully ready. But then we are going for it. That's how it is. So it will change. Things will change because we understand lots of problems. Yes, now the problem will be solved. Take up this problem as a research problem in your university. Your electronics and communication department, some department should take up this and start working on it. So that's how it is.
Thank you, sir. Great insight.
Sadhanjali Panda, is there any provision for relaxed course fees, economic lower students? These are all policy issues. And I can't discuss about it. Share today's PPT. They help us in planning how to bring in the chain. Dipali, I will send you. I will sharing it with Dr. Spurti. I think that I don't see any other questions.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
that's
much.
Sudhanjali Panda. If a student leaves the academic program first year, second year, then he will continue degree after some years. Yes, that's all called academic credit. He can come back and join. He or she can come back after a couple of years and again continue the program. So whatever credit you have taken earlier, it will be continued. Yes, please. Spurti?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Participants, if you don't have any questions, so I do not see any questions from the participants either, sir. I think we can end the session. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to meet us all virtually and to talk about the new education policy 2020 and its implications for higher education. I would like to share with all the participants that Professor Jayakumar received the Distinguished Alumnus Award from the National Institute of Technology, Surat, Karnataka, during the Diamond Jubilee celebrations in 2019. In fact, I am honored and delighted to be a part of the institute that you are a part of, sir, that is NIT Warangal, because anywhere I go, whoever I talk to, one person that everybody knows in academia from NIT Warangal is Professor Jayakumar. Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure to learn more about the policy and how it is going to transform the education system. Your session made all of us even more excited about the future of academia and the role we play in building the nation as teachers. Thank you again for a very informative, elaborate, and insightful session. Thank you, sir.
I'll share this PPT to you. I'll send it to you, Spurti. You can share with the participants.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah. And take care, all of you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. So, participants, thank you for your participation. And that brings us to the end of this session, the first session of the 5-day ATAL FTP TIE 4.0. I'm stopping the recording right now.